Okay, let's now welcome Ambassador MEA Shanker, former Indian ambassador to US, joining us on this broadcast to examine the big takeaways. But ma'am, I'm sure you heard that line from President Trump calling Prime Minister Modi a tougher negotiator, quote unquote. And, you know, there were a lot of speculations and the sticky point on tariff conversations. How would we navigate those conversations? But at the end of the day, it's settled. It's more than settled, would you say? Your overall take on the deliverables, then we can go on the specifics.
Well, I think as I had said earlier, that India's effort will be to situate the relationship in the strategic partnership, to assess what it has achieved so far and to see what the future trajectory of the partnership is going to be, not letting individual issues dominate the relationship. So that is exactly what has happened. We've had a dialogue. The two countries have announced compact, as they call it, catalyzing opportunities for military cooperation and cooperation in commerce and trade and technology. So that's a major announcement. They've set a target for $500 billion in two-way trade by 2030. But this means that there were slippages, because this target of $500 billion, I think, was first set when Obama had visited India as the chief guest for Republic Day. So we haven't grown as fast as anticipated, but trade has been growing at a reasonably robust pace. Then in the defense sector, I think there are going to be new opportunities. The defense framework on India as a major partner, another 10-year framework for defense cooperation will be signed or negotiated and signed during the course of the year. And then we are looking at purchase of new defense platforms from the US, including the maritime surveillance aircraft, some anti-tank Javelin anti-tank missiles, and perhaps Stryker armored car vehicles. There will also be discussions on cooperation in energy. Trump has gone back on promoting renewable energy. So the focus, I suppose, will be on fossil fuels, and Trump announced that India may buy more oil and gas from the United States. So that is something which will also be on the agenda. But just before the meeting, Trump did pass his executive order on reciprocal tariffs for all countries, which would include India. And then he also made the remark that our weighted average tariff for agricultural imports is 5%, whereas India's is 39%. And then he said India has 100% tariffs on motorcycles.
So to say, would you say so far, as the bilaterals get finalized, there is a middle ground that we have reached on tariff? Because remember, as a run-up, yes, ma'am.
I don't think it's the middle ground, but what we have done is to lay the framework for discussions on the issue. That is what both sides will do. The reciprocal tariffs will come into effect on 1st April. So I suppose both countries will try to negotiate some kind of a via media by then. Steel and aluminium tariffs of 25%, which Trump imposed, I think a few days ago, have already come into effect. And they hit for $400 million of India's aluminium exports.
Okay, ma'am, how do you see the conversions of Make India Greater Again and the Make America Greater Again? If you, the whole vision of Make in India or Make India Great Again under Viksit Bharat, the flagship vision that we have, and of course, Trump's Make America Great Again under Trump 2.0 administration, the convergence of these two ideas into powerful democracies.
Well, I think both President Trump and Prime Minister Modi have a degree of ideological convergence because they are both conservative leaders. They lead conservative parties. As far as Make America Great Again is concerned, it's the slogan on which Trump won his election. It
Exactly.
was a core part of his campaign, and it involves really strengthening America's economy, even at the cost of other partners. As far as India's Make in India or a developed India, or as Prime Minister Modi said, Make India Great Again. This is something where we are trying to build our own strength, particularly in manufacturing and technology,
Right.
and defense, without necessarily, really harming others. So I think there's a difference, and also, while the ideas may be similar, sometimes the competing nationalisms can also rub up against each other.
Right.
Because, if everything has to be America's way to make America great again, or India, I think it would be difficult. So, but the basic
because
thing
we
is
also have, you would agree, our own version of the India way, right?
Yes, yes.
Ambassador Shankar, significant impact of India's global standing or positioning, and also this visit adding more depth and momentum to Indo-US ties under, not necessarily under Trump's leadership, but going forward, because you've been the former envoy to US, you've seen the whole trajectory. Your final comments now, Modi 3.0 and Trump 2.0, because this visit was widely watched by the world as well, the rest of the world.
Well, I think that India has shown flexibility on many of Trump's core concerns. We have, for instance, agreed to take back illegal immigrants who may be deported from the United States. We have agreed that we are willing to look at reducing tariffs on US exports to India, making more defense purchases, and also looking at more oil and gas imports. Now, as far as defense and oil and gas imports are concerned, there is a synergy because India imports oil, India imports defense equipment. So there is a synergy. But I think on illegal immigration, we have signaled that we are willing to take back. But I think the political theater around the way in which the first set of deportees was sent was avoidable. And certainly one would hope that going into the future, there'll be a more discreet way of sending the deportees back on commercial flights or chartered flights, as used to happen in the past.
Right.
Because it makes it more difficult. If it becomes a political issue in India, it makes it more difficult for the two countries to navigate. So even from the US side, there should be recognition that if they want to deport, doing it in a way which makes it easier for India to accept is certainly desirable.
We leave it there. Such a
going forward.
Sure.
Going forward, I would say that the relationship is robust.
Okay.
And that the two countries do want to strengthen their ties in a whole range of strategic sectors, while negotiating the minefields that Trump's nationalistic policies may put in the way.
All right, we leave it there. Such a pleasure talking to you, ma'am, as always. Short but extremely significant visit of Prime Minister Modi to US, which was high on both symbolism and substance. Thank you, ma'am.